Okay, so it's easier to do a video to explain these assignments than to write a piece of paper. There's going to be written instructions, obviously. So what this exercise is to write 2 body paragraphs, um, where you sort of step aside out of this the life of the celebrity that you've been sort of researching and writing about or looking into this semester. Because I asked you from the beginning to write to research somebody that's well known, and here's the persona that they sort of put out there, and then investigate when they were younger and make sort of analytical assumptions about what was lacking here that they had to, portray in their life here. There's nothing wrong with that. That is analysis, and it's good to think beyond facts and think about ideas, because that's the connective tissue. And when you see commonalities between two unlike things, that sort of creative part of your brain is one of the highest orders of thought. What we want to do, however, is we want to practice how to research to find studies to inform those opinions. So if I was writing about, I don't know, Stan Lee, for instance, Stan Lee, Marvel Comics and all that stuff, that in his life, early on, he was sort of not necessarily a popular kid in high school, was sort of picked on a little bit. Anyway, whatever. If I'm looking at that and going, here's somebody who sort of not necessarily retreated into a world of art, but invented a universe where people that were mutants and Spider-Man got his power through something painful, overcome difficulties to gain special insight and power. I would like to do some research and go into that idea of art as therapy, for instance. That if being creative is a way to deal with adolescent trauma, what is the value in that sort of stuff in a therapeutic sense? So I would go to Google Scholar, and this is where I'm not going to find Stan Lee's name. You know what I mean? I have this idea, and I'm looking to ground it somewhere. So art as therapy for dealing with psychological issues for children, or teenagers, adolescents, or whatever. I'm sure I'll find something. And so working through that stuff, and I'll just do a survey of how you find things on Google Scholar. Take notes on it with Stan Lee in mind. Do the thing we said, bring a chunk over there, copy and paste, bold the part that you're probably going to use if you're going to blend the sentence, write 2 commentary sentences to stir your thoughts for when you look at it later. Throw in a question maybe, so that when you look at it later, your brain's still rolling. But then we want to have those 2 things where we have the source reference, the web address is up here or wherever, and do the parenthetical citation in APA format. So we'll use Scriber or EasyBib, or even Google on Google Docs now has under tools a citation. But I really suggest using Scriber right now, because right now it seems to be the best. Because you want that parenthetical citation next to the source material and then never lose it. Going to look for that stuff later is a nightmare. So you want that stuff stapled together as soon as possible. And then once you find 2 or 3 things from the study that are enough to work with, then you match them up with Stan Lee and we build paragraphs. And that part will come later on. So that's the basic overview. Is the idea. We don't want to say the linear argument. We don't want to say a timeline on somebody's life and just say what happened. We want to see trends and then to be able to support the opinion or the analysis that we see. Otherwise, our opinion is fairly weak. And it depending on how you search on Google Scholar, you can find how the search items you use if you get the knack for it. You're going to find tons of stuff. It'll be rare if you don't find something that'll help. And if you don't, or you're having trouble with that, let me know. I love doing that kind of research. I think it's fascinating what people can find. So the step 1 is think about some aspect of your celebrity where doing a little side research would help inform your analysis of that person and humanize them. I mean, maybe just the simple fact that their parents got divorced that's significant, you know. If not horribly uncommon, but still, it's significant in the life of somebody. Or moving from house to house several times. That is a significant factor in somebody's upbringing. If you're having tons of trouble finding something, this doesn't have to match perfectly. We're just practicing. And anyway, I will model my steps on whatever, I don't know what I'm going to write about, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to put it on this Blend Space. Okay? So there's going to be more to come.